And now it is time to welcome our first guest in a segment that we call Bark in the Park. The lovely Jessica Sims is the creator and curator for Dogs Made Simple, and she specializes in reactivity training for dogs. She joins us live from Montreal, Canada. And Jessica, it is so good to spend time with you today. How are you?
I'm great, and I'm so excited to be here. So thank you for having me.
Oh, of course. I love following you on social media and all of your adventures with Diesel. How is he doing?
He's good. It's so funny. He just heard a dog barking on one of the videos, so he's up. He's active. He's looking around, but he's just as excited, I guess, as we are.
Oh, hi, Diesel. Glad you're with us too. Jessica, when did your love for dogs begin? How did you get started? And I know you have a long history with loving canines.
Yeah, it's funny actually. So when I was super young, my mom decided to start a little dog boarding business. So we said, maybe if we watch a dog here and there, nothing crazy. We did minimal promotion and the demand was crazy. I'll never forget one Christmas, we had 12 dogs in the basement that we were watching for a week. 12 dogs.
Wow.
And we were having the big Italian family over for dinner. So that's where kind of my love and my passion for dogs came in, because you have to learn how to manage 12 dogs. Every dog has different personality. Some get alert, some don't. How do you walk 12 dogs? And that's when I really learned as well, is just dog training. How do you manage all this? And of course, I grew up with golden retrievers my whole life. So for me, the first thing before even moving out, before getting furniture, it was, I want to get a dog. And that's exactly what happened. Didn't even have a couch, but I got a dog.
That is awesome. I'm just thinking about you walking 12 dogs. I want to see video of that from your childhood, because you are obviously a tough gal. It's like incredible. That must have been so funny. But also, like you said, our past shapes us. And what incredible training to work with all of those animals. And I'm not surprised it was a huge success, because you have a huge heart. And obviously you've been trained up right. But I want to talk to you about Dogs Made Simple. It's incredible the traction that you're getting. Talk to me about the process of starting and how it's kind of become so popular in your opinion today.
Yeah, so I started back in 2021, so that's when I got Diesel. And he had a few issues, well, actually, severe behavior issues from day one. And I was starting to feel a bit hopeless, and I just wanted other people to relate to and see if there was others that were going through the same issues as I was. So I didn't feel like the crazy woman over here that was doing everything wrong. So I started to share my story, and I really put myself out there, and I want to be as transparent as possible. So I was sharing, the progress that he was making, but most importantly, the bad, like the embarrassing moments. And that's when people really start to resonate from around the world saying, me too, I'm going through that. And we were almost able to connect as a community. And I think that's really when Dogs Made Simple took off. Because we know there's a lot of noise on social media. There's a lot of good. And there's a lot of, I like to call it fake good. So it's kind of sugar-coated.
Oh, yes.
So I just said, let me put myself out there. And that's kind of where it all started.
I love that, Jessica. I really think that people are craving authenticity today. Let's stop faking it, right? Let's take off the mask and say, honestly, this is hard and this is going well. But I love how you are just really trying to bring helpful information, like ground level for people, showing them how they can do things on their own with their dog too, and equipping them with valuable information that you've gained over the years. People have to go check out your material if they haven't already. You won't regret it. It's so much fun. Tell me about the inspiration that you had as you were creating, Dogs Made Simple. Obviously you have a certain brand and you really want to make sure that you put valuable information out there, but what are you most passionate about when it comes to like the material that you are generating?
I would say reflecting as a dog owner. So I learned a lot that dogs feed off our energy and dogs sense our mood, and it has to do with how we are as dog owners. And I always kind of had an idea about that, but I didn't know to what extent. So a perfect example is leash reactivity. Diesel's very reactive on the leash when he sees another dog. And I remember one day saying, you know what, this is actually because I'm not being a good enough dog owner, in a sense where every time I'd see a dog on a walk, I would tense and he would sense that. And so then he would tense up. Once I started to be more calm, cool, and collective, he started to feed off that energy. So I always like to turn around to, okay, what can I do as a dog owner to better myself, to be a better pack leader, as I like to call it, for my dog. So that's one thing I really advocate for a lot.
I love that. That's such great information. Just take a deep breath, take a beat, and your dog will probably be calmer too. Now, I know you're also passionate about enrichment games, right?
Totally. I am. It's funny, when I got Diesel, I barely even knew what mental enrichment meant for dogs. And now
it's amazing how challenges will do that for us, right? It's like, I've got to do something about this.
Yeah. And now I am the biggest advocate for enrichment games for dogs. I meet new people every single day and I talk about it. So it's kind of funny how it transitioned from not even knowing what the concept meant to being invested in it 100% every single day, even with Diesel's routine on a daily basis.
That is great. And, really, we can do a lot of this ourselves at home. My son the other day, I was actually, on Dogs Made Simple, and he was inspired by some of what you put out there. He actually took a milk carton and he cut a little hole in it and he put some peanut butter in there. And then he's like, I wonder what Louie Bear will do with this. But do you have any do-it-yourself tips for dog moms watching, or little things you think they should try at home? I just gave one idea, but take it from here.
That's a great idea. And I know when you first think of these things, it sounds a bit, weird or cheesy, but we take it for granted. For us, it's nothing. For a dog, it's incredibly enriching. So do it yourself. I'm a huge advocate for do it yourself, set it up at home. Enrichment games. So one of them is, we all have shoe boxes or any kind of boxes lying around. So I like to take a shoe box with a blanket, an old blanket that we never use. I spread the blanket out, I put treats in it, I roll it up, and then I toss that blanket into a box. And you'll see your dog's gonna kind of be like, what's going on here? And then obviously, for example, Diesel, he's a master at it. So then I said, okay, how do I increase the level of difficulty? Well, let me take that box with the treats in it and put it in another bigger box. And then you could stack the boxes. I had him busy the other day for, I timed it, 46 minutes. And he was lights out at the end.
Wow. 46 minutes. And it's relieving stress, and it's relieving anxiety, and it's stimulating Diesel's mind. It's genius. I love it so much. I want to switch gears. This is a little more serious, but I know this is something that you're passionate about too. Dog breeding and puppy mills. I mean, this has been a hot topic over the last few years, and I mean, really even longer than that. But, what are some best tips and advice that you have for dog moms watching as far as breeders are concerned? What can you share with our audience?
The best advice I could give anyone is a good breeder will do their homework on you as a dog owner. So they know the dog parents the best. They know the puppies the best. They're the ones that are raising these puppies from about till 12 weeks. And they raise, I like to call them the dog parents, right? So they know what kind of lifestyle they like. Is it more active? Every dog needs exercise and mental enrichment, but to what level? So the breeder will sit down with you and understand what's your lifestyle and will it fit with the dog. That to me is the most important thing. And the second most important one, and I remember when I got Diesel, I had a friend who was also getting a puppy around the same time. And she says, oh, I picked up my puppy and he's relatively potty trained already and knows certain basic commands. And I almost fell off my chair because I said, for me, I was just given Diesel, here he is, have a good life. And so I realized afterwards, I did my homework, and there's a lot of good breeders will do some basic training with the puppy from day one, and we'll give you a puppy and we'll tell you, okay, this is what we've been training him, and now this is what you could do to continue with his training. So those are my two big elements that I had no idea of and never even took into consideration when I got Diesel.
That's huge. And it just brings up some good points. If they're not asking you questions on the front end, I mean, you would think dog breeders would want to ensure that this is going to be a good union, because this is so much more than just cute dogs, right, Jessica? This is a commitment. When we take on dog ownership, this should be a commitment to make sure that we're providing the best possible love and best possible situation for these animals. I know you're passionate about that too. What are some of the most common difficulties that dog owners face? What do you see, your followers struggling with the most?
And I'm smirking because I see myself struggling with it as well. And I did a video on it and it went viral. So the biggest issue a lot of us struggle with is, I like to call it dog mom guilt or dog parent guilt. I work from home. I'm always home. He's always around. What's the routine and what's the limit to how many walks, for example, do you take your dog for on a daily basis? So a lot of us, we see them, they're walking around or they're staring at us. Okay, let's take them for another walk. Oh, what's one more walk? But what's happening is, yes, maybe we're giving this illusion to ourselves that they're bored and they want to do something, but they're actually getting enough exercise in a day, but we're just always giving them more. And they're like children. The more you give, the more they're going to want. So it's really
good point.
Trying to establish that routine and sticking with it. Just today I was working and Diesel already had 3 walks and it was at lunchtime. That's a lot. That's already a lot. And he's coming around and he's putting his paw on me. And what did I do? I went outside. And yes, we want to spoil them, but sometimes we have to set boundaries. So that's the one issue that a lot of dog owners are struggling with. And I would say the second one is socialization. So a lot of us, we have dogs that are reactive, that get very hyper nervous in public areas. So what we say is, well, let's take the easy route and just leave them at home. But you're not doing yourselves a favor by, keeping your dog in a bubble. And I do this all the time. And I used to a lot, and I'm trying to challenge myself not to. I'm not saying go to the biggest, busiest park and bring your dog and put them in there and good, but take baby steps. So maybe go to a park, but sit far away and let your dog take it in, because you want to be able to bring them to these places one day. But if you keep them at home and you don't socialize them, you'll never get there.
I love that. That's a great point. And bond with them, take them out and about. They can do it. And I love how you said, if they can't go right into the mix, just sit back a little bit and ease into it. But try and bond. I love that, Jessica. It's such great information, and you always provide such valuable tips. But question for you, where do you see Dogs Made Simple in the next 5 years? What do you have kind of on the horizon, or what are you looking ahead to?
Just a few things.
Of course, I know you do.
In the next month or two, so short term, I've tested out a lot of dog enrichment toys, as we know. I discovered features I like, features I don't like. So I am launching my own dog product line of enrichment toys that we're super excited. And then further down the line, I get asked a lot about different enrichment games. People always asking me, do you have other ones that maybe don't involve food? They're just looking for all kinds of new ideas. So I want to launch a cookbook, but instead of it being recipes, it's going to be dog enrichment games. So kind of a layout as a cookbook, but instead you could purchase that ebook, that online book, and then see different enrichment games I have to offer. And I'm also looking to just help people grow their business online and on social media. Throughout the years, of course, I've gained that hands-on experience, and I just want to give back now and help other people grow their presence and their engagement on social media.
That is awesome. I love that idea of giving back, and I'm really excited about all of the great things happening on this journey for you. You're a trooper. We know this about you. You have a can-do attitude, and now we want to play kind of sort of a game with you, a rapid fire question and answer, where we throw the questionable content at you, and then you tell us if it's true or if it's false. Okay? So now we want you to, of course, answer as fast as possible. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Here we go. True or false? Physical exercise tires a dog out more than mental enrichment.
That is false. Mental enrichment is as tiring, if not more tiring, for dogs when you set them up with certain games.
Good to know. True or false? Leash reactivity can in part be the dog owner's fault.
Absolutely, that's true. Just like I said before, if you tense up and you stress, your dog is feeding off your body language, and then they're going to tense up and stress and be reactive.
There you go. True or false? Letting your dog sniff on walks is a form of mental enrichment.
True. We take it for granted. Sniffing for us is irrelevant, but for dogs, it's incredibly enriching. And that's why I always say, go to a new park, bring your dog to a new location. You'll see they'll be exhausted afterwards.
Dog food aggression or resource guarding issues cannot be fixed. True or false?
That's false. It takes a lot of time. It's probably the biggest issue to tackle, but with patience and building trust with your dog. So there's a lot of bonding activities you could set up. You'll be able to fix the aggression.
Okay, good news. And last but not least, true or false, a reactive, nervous, or hyper dog around other people should never be taken out in public. I have a feeling what you're going to say.
We kind of covered that. That's false. Take
Yes.
your dog out, keep them in a bubble. Don't put them in the busiest location right away, but take baby steps once again, and they'll slowly and gradually get used to the public, the people, and the noise.
Yay, Jessica Sims, you did it. I'm going to give you a round of applause. So fun. We are always grateful to spend time with you. How can our audience keep on top of what's going on with Dogs Made Simple?
For now, we're on TikTok and Instagram at Dogs Made Simple, and you'll find that we are launching our website shortly once we launch the product line, and that website will be announced on Instagram and on TikTok.
Awesome. Jessica Sims of Dogs Made Simple. Thanks so much, friend. You take care.
So glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks so much for watching this Dog Mom News clip. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more awesome and informative Dog Mom News content. And while you're at it, ring the bell so that you can find out about more content in real time. And be sure to join us Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our live show. You don't want to miss it. Thanks for watching, everyone.